In real estate, there's a lot of gatekeeping. No one wants to really, truly help you for nothing, right? They want you to buy the course, come to the seminar. They don't want to just help you freely. And I always tell myself that I will help freely if I can. And I do. So if they're like, hey, who do you use for an inspector? I'm not going to be like, well, did you watch my podcast? I'm just going to tell them and then send the podcast link. But I mean, I'm going to tell them.
Hi, I'm Carolyn Mosley.
And I'm Deandra Pruitt. And we are Real Estate and Motherhood.
We're back for another episode. And today we are speaking about professional
team. What current deals do you got going on, Carolyn?
So right now I have a listing. This is my biggest listing. That's really important to me. It's my baby. I spoke about it before. She's the owner of the home as a widow. And it took 2 appointments, but I landed the appointment. I've listed the house, and now it's time to sit back and let magic work. But it's a little bit different. The first house I listed was $255. Second one $425. Third one $875. So I took 3 huge jumps as far as how you handle these listings. So this listing is a little different. However, I have adapted. So we got different things going. Open house is a little different.
Let's talk about this open house real quick. The day before, hours before open house, it was like 2 a.m. We're on the phone because we're always on. She says to me, I really need signs of how much each room would sell for with the furniture in it. I think I'm going to go to Kinko's. I was like, okay. And she's like, or you could do the signs and I can print them out. Then I do the signs for, and what's that app called? Canva. Mm-hmm. I do the signs for her in Canva. And she says, oh, they look like IKEA. I'm like, bye.
They did look like
Then
IKEA.
She says, I didn't get to print them out. For the open house, you didn't even get to go print them.
No, I went back. I did.
Okay.
I did. I got them printed out, and they were in frames in every room. And they got a lot of the signs itself had a lot of conversation with the open house, so it worked.
I know.
True to this, not but true to this. I didn't tell her to wake me up because we have another friend, our other best friend. They called and they decided to bother me, and I was in bed getting ready for my open house. And so I just kind of, since we're on the phone,
right,
let's make it happen. But I'm excited.
This listing is sales price of what?
$875.
Where's it at?
Kennesaw.
Cool. What school district?
Pine Mountain.
Pine Mountain. Okay. The difference in your 255 listing and your 875 listing is that most people can't afford 875. And in this interest rate, with it being sky high, if I'm paying $875, I better love every ounce of the house because it costs a lot monthly.
I literally, with my first listing, which was $255, I went under contract in 48 hours.
Yeah.
And most of the people that went in there, I was there. I had everything set up. I never skim on open houses. I love to throw a party. So I still had a snow cone truck. I give the same energy for my open houses, and people just weren't like really asking questions about the 255 house, but the 875 house, they were asking.
Mm-hmm. It's a whole different ballgame.
Every question that you thought of, you didn't think of.
Yeah, and that's why when you say you want to sell luxury, I'd be like, you go, girl. Because I don't want to, I shouldn't say I don't want to sell luxury, but I know what comes with it. Your clientele is different. What they expect of you is different. It's not lax. Like they're coming at you with expectations. At 500,000 and under, they're more coming at you for guidance, right? Because normally when you can afford $1 million home, you probably bought one before. So the whole ball game is different. And then they're like, well, I know how much I'm paying you to do this. So it's a lot more of expectations on you as the real estate agent on top of the busy lifestyle that I live. I just didn't like how that felt.
That makes sense.
I have a house in Decatur right now that's listed, and it's the perfect investment for an investor. And I'm so like shocked that an investor didn't get it. There's no HOA. It's fully renovated. It's the cutest little home, 10 minutes from downtown. Um, but it's under contract with somebody to actually buy and live in it. But it's the perfect Airbnb. It's perfect. I did have an investor contact me the day after I went under contract, of course,
Oh, of course.
to want to buy it cash. But um, that's my current real estate deal. So that's another buy sell. So I have to find her something. Um,
What about your sports mom life?
Javion is playing fall ball. He's switched schools again. When I tell you my kid has friends all throughout Cobb County, you say his name, they know him. So he switched schools. The sports world right now for high school looks a lot like college. So the politics are insane. So he switched schools. He has no friends in the new school besides the basketball team, which is common for him. And he's playing fall ball and killing it. He's actually number 6 out of 244 players in points. I know. Granted, he does live with the basketball trainer. He does have a little advantage, but
Right. Home court. Literally.
literally. But yeah, we're proud of him. He's finally starting to be like, no, give me, it's mine. Like the grit is showing. I've been telling him to
I
eat
like
faces.
that. The grit. That's like a term that's like,
Yeah, because she needs it. Yeah. So it took a lot of years of every time he gets out the car, I would say, hey, eat their faces off, all right? Like, don't wait till they're hungry. You eat first. Or I'll say, like, I just always say something like, be gritty. Because he's so relaxed and so chill and so non confrontational. And just, we went to this camp, and at a camp, you have to like be selfish because you got to make your points and show off and get. After the first game, he was like, Mom, I'm not a ball hog, but I'm about to be. I was like, great, don't pass the ball. And he got a write up. As soon as he didn't pass the ball, he was able to get a write up. So it's such a journey. And with my son, the journey is taking a little bit longer, but as I know him, so it takes him a little longer, but once he gets it, he got it. Right. So that patience is taught me patience. How about you?
Right now, Chloe is in her 3rd week of JV volleyball.
How's that going?
It's going well. She's adjusting to social media presence. Like her mother, she didn't have any. So that was fun for her. Just trying to bring her out of that shell. And with everything else, it just takes time. However, am I happy with her performance overall in games? Yes, I am. She is definitely, but I was never worried about her performance. So now I'm just like ready for her to eat their faces off, and she's not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
And girls are different from boys. Talk about this every night on the phone, how they're different, how they're the same. But it's she's fragile. Like I had to think about, like, I had to take myself back for a second. She just turned 14. She just started her freshman year. She's on a team of 26 girls. But she is in the starting lineup of 26 girls at a 7A school. So it's like I can't go in and be like, eat their faces off right now.
Yes, you can. Because it's going to take her a long time to do it. So plant the seed. Eat their faces off. Because if she waits and then now she's a senior and she doesn't have any offers because she's not eating anyone's face off.
But she really can. What annoys me is my daughter's athletic ability is there.
Right. So is mine. They
And
have an X factor,
yes,
but
JV, like it's like,
they
but
will be
you
looked
have like
over.
you have to take them there, which is annoying. It's so annoying because
It's not annoying. We did this to them. We spoiled them. What have they ever had to want? So they don't know how to go hunt because it's handed to them.
it's like good. Like I like that. They don't know how to hunt. She doesn't.
No, why? How would she
She don't know
know?
how to get it out
What
the
has she
mud.
went
She does
without?
not know
What
how
has
to
she
get it out the
ever?
mud.
Yeah, real estate and motherhood.
All right, so let's talk about relationships,
Ooh,
professional
in
relationships.
real estate, professional relationships are so important.
They are. It's like it's your team.
You know why it's important to me? I think my real estate relationships are important because they are what makes my client's process smooth.
Yes.
So, yes, I have a control of a lot of the transaction, but once I'm under contract and I hand them off to my team of attorney, lender, inspector, I can trust that they're doing their job to give my client the best transition into a homeowner. Um, and that's what keeps my referrals going. So we're in a referral business.
Mhm.
Relationships mean
Everything.
everything, everything.
And you know you're doing your job as an agent when you're getting when your clientele is based off of referrals. Like before
Oh
you can
yeah,
even dive into leads, like you have referrals. Like people are saying, call my agent
right.
or connecting you both, like you have to use her.
And it's hard to find that. I think as a new agent, you have to work with other people to see who connects with you
I agree.
because some attorneys aren't going to connect with everybody. Some might not like how lax Marissa is, but I love that she's lax. Because then you feel comfortable with calling her and saying,
She's lax in to a certain extent.
yeah, lax in meaning like she makes you feel comfortable. She's not like stuffy
Right. No, she's not a stuffy attorney at all.
at
But
at all.
if
But she knows what
she
she's doing,
knows
right? And it makes me laugh because I always hear, "Oh, are you the attorney?" Like she will come out and be like, "Hi, I'm Marissa," and they'll be like, "You're the attorney?"
they will
All the
all
time.
the
She's
time.
young, she's pretty, she's black. You're the attorney? Yep, it's me. I'm who you've been emailing. I said I'm Marissa.
Right.
Right? Like,
Let's go back.
but she has our back. One of the reasons why I am successful and have this knowledge and that I have so much knowledge within my head for real estate that I can teach it is because of her. That's why I'm so particular about your choice of words when you're negotiating or you're doing something because she was that way with me. Because what if you say that in court? What you gonna say? And I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah. So she'll be like, say it like this. So now that I've been doing it so long, she's like, I already taught you how to do this. I'm like, I know, but just say it for me again.
Just let me make sure. I literally will call Deandra and I'm like, so I wrote up my amendment and I said this, and this is how I know she's like annoyed with the fact of being annoyed that she knows that I know. She'll get quiet.
Be like, so why are you calling me? What's the issue? You know this. She treated me the same way. She's a little nicer than me, but she has gotten me to a point of me being comfortable. Like I've had Marissa for 5 out of the 6 years that I've been a real estate agent. Um, she's made me. So kudos to you because I know you're gonna watch it, and so is Mason. Um, I appreciate everything that she brings as an attorney. A lot of times, people will try you, and you're thinking, "Is this against the law?" Having my attorney that I can text. Well,
It's a lot different.
agents don't have that, and I know you're noticing that now
Mhm.
because they're like, "Wait, you can contact your attorney right now? Oh, you can't? Well, you might want to use mine, right?"
Because she's gonna text me back
Yeah, and let me know how to say it.
and say, "Let me call you in a second. Give
Bec-
me a moment."
because if an attorney is explaining it to me in their jargon, I still kind of don't understand. The fact that she can break it down so that I can understand, so that I can teach it is huge. Um,
Most people don't give you that much of their time, which means she's passionate about it, which is a different skill set.
having your heart into it. So part of our professional team, everyone's heart is there.
Yes, I agree. So we
There.
have attorney, lender.
Mhm. I've gone through 4 lenders in my last 6 years. Um, just because sometimes some lenders can offer things that other lenders can't. So it's important to have more than one, and to also know who I'm referring you to. Because this lender with the good credit, but the self employed job with the student loans, this lender might not be able to give or approve for as much as this lender. So knowing the best route. This lender's bank is super particular on this. This one's not. That's part of just knowing. What makes the lender important to you?
Closing. And it's for you to know, like, which, like I said, which lenders are best for your client in their situation, because every situation is different and different banks or lenders offer different things. So,
Communication too. My lender has to communicate thoroughly to my buyer. The reason why I want my lender to communicate thoroughly is because this is the biggest purchase that they're making in their life and they've never met you. They're more than likely just talking to you on the phone and I referred you. So it's my face card, right? You told me to use this person and they charged me this and they said this. I recently have a seller who feels like she's missing $20,000.
oh,
Yeah. The transaction hasn't closed yet and she's not missing $20,000. Just the way that she's comprehending it and the way he's explaining it is not matching. It's not meshing. So there's like a block there of communication. And I'm not on the phone. I'm not getting the email.
right.
Right. So getting through that um, for a new agent could be challenging because you're like, what do I say? You're not
How do
missing.
you,
You don't want to make her feel like, girl, you don't know what you're talking about.
right? Because you're on
So
this side. So.
the comfort. So I can't even really talk numbers. It's against the real estate board or whatever. So I'm constantly telling her, okay, let me call the lender. Let me call the lender.
Did you speak to the lender? That's my first question.
Me?
No, I'm saying that's what I asked them.
Oh yeah.
When they call you and
But
they like,
guess what? She called me and she was telling me this, and she's like, "Well, I did make him aware of it." So I called the lender, and he was like, "No lie, I've been on the phone with her for the last hour." And I was like, "Oh, well, she made it seem like you didn't explain it right." He's like, "There's no other way I can explain it."
I figured out every way to explain it. So
So again, it's important to have a professional team. He was professional the whole time, held her hand the whole time, and after she hung up, she still called me. Why did she call me? Because it's my face card. I referred this lender, right? So I'm like, listen, she's unhappy. We got to figure out how to
we
make
got to
money,
figure out.
right? So, inspector.
Inspect.
I love our
We love our
inspector.
inspector. Shout out to Malik.
He's a great, thorough person. He's like this older man that retired from the military, right?
Who's like, but he's had his hands in so much.
Yeah, he's like a jack of all trades.
Right. And he doesn't just like go through trades. Like he literally has passion behind everything that he's done in life. So he absorbs so much knowledge and he kicks that back to you. And he wants you to learn. So you can be at an inspection like, "Oh, the buyer's here. We're listening, we're recording, they're filming. I'm on my phone." And he's like, "Miss C." That's what we call him. Miss
Mm.
C. Come here.
That's funny. He calls me Miss D. That must be his thing. You don't know our names. All the money we
I'm
refer.
asking him.
All the money I put in your pocket. No.
So yes. I love that Malik is just I've not had a client complain about Malik.
You know what? He makes or breaks our deal because he's the inspection report, right? So depending on if he says this is a good house or not, is us getting back in the car showing houses for days.
And he will let you know.
Let me tell you how I met Malik. I had the most annoying client. I should say your name because you're that annoying. But I mean, he's family now. I would tell him during the process, like, you are the most. He's from Jamaica. He wanted a deal that doesn't exist, like literally didn't exist. I showed him, I wrote this down. I showed him and his wife houses for 466 days. Over a year, we're looking at homes. You know how many homes you can look at over a year?
I don't even wanna think about
Think
that.
about looking at 6 houses in one day. So imagine how many houses I showed them over a
I
year.
don't want that.
I knew all of McDonough. I know McDonough so well that I didn't even need to use my GPS anymore.
You know how to get
We was
around.
going to the same subdivisions.
So if you don't know anything about the Atlanta area, McDonough's like
Far
45
from the
minutes
city.
from
So
the
depending
city.
on where you're going, it would take me an hour and 15 minutes to show one house.
No
I'm
one's just
in,
hanging out in a McDonough to know the
but my
area.
grit pushed me through, okay, because I had a goal. Long story short, he didn't want to use my preferred inspector, of course, because that would be like
Too easy.
too easy. I got a friend. I got a friend. He's good. I'm like, okay, whatever. But I want you to come to inspection. I don't even go to inspection. He wants me to come. I want you to come to inspection. I'm like, why? He's like, so I can see what you see, you know? He has a really strong accent, a Jamaican accent. I hope he watches this. I'm going to send him this because I need to remind him. So his friend shows up and he is fantastic. It's Malik. And
Yeah.
I'm like, Malik, you are so good at your job. This is why I went through this. I went through hell with your friend for you
To
to help
find you.
because yeah, then now that was 4 or 5 years later, I'm still using Malik. And any real estate agent that I have referred him to use, they all call me like, thank you so much for sharing him. In real estate, there's a lot of gatekeeping. No one wants to really, truly help you for nothing, right? They want you to buy the course or
That is
come to the seminar. They don't want to just help you freely. And I always tell myself that I will help freely if I can. And I do. So if they're like, hey, who do you use for an inspector? I'm not going to be like, well, did you watch my podcast? I'm just going to tell them and then send the podcast link. But I mean, I'm going to tell them. So professional team is huge. It definitely is what gets us to closing,
Yes.
which is how we get paid. It's how everyone pretty much gets paid. Um, Obviously the attorney's probably salary, but I'm sure she gets a bonus for how many homes that actually closed. Lender, I don't know. It varies. Some lenders are not salary, all commission. Some have a little bit of a salary. I don't know. So the professional team is definitely something that
And you don't I say this so when I first started in real estate, people were like, "Oh, your team's great." I'm like, "What team?" I'm an independent agent. And they're like, "Well, your team, like Malik and they would call off like the lender and attorney's great. I've been in touch." And I'm just like, "Oh, I guess I have a team." You have a team, whether or not you think you have a team. Those core people that you use that are of value of you, that you trust and that trust you, they become your team.
And I always make her explain because she's new kid on the block. All that?
Yeah.
It was that annoying. Like that was a Chloe moment.
It
You just
was.
turned into your daughter like I
I don't
asked her
care. You
to
can
do
send it to
something.
her.
I want you to explain mm, the settlement sheet. What is it?
That's a lot to explain.
No, just explaining what it is. You're at closing.
It's pretty much fees. It's what the buyer and the seller is paying and sometimes being credited.
So, for
So it's
example, my lady is saying $20,000 is missing.
so it should be as a debit on the seller's. She's a seller, right?
Yeah.
Okay. On the seller's side, if she is missing $20,000, it should say minus debit $20,000 on the sell side. So everything is on there from taxes, title, insurance, to tuition. You can see where my mind is with my kid. Commission, commission fees, the lawyer fees, everything pretty much that they are paying in that transaction is on it. So when you walk away, everyone gets one, and it kind of tells
All
how
the um, pluses and minuses
yeah.
are basically there from the sales price down. So from what it sold for what to what they're buying,
Mhm.
it's all there. And everything is going to equal and make sense number wise. So you really don't get that until everything's ordered, your payoffs ordered, your HOA letters ordered. Then you really know what you're working with. Up until that point, it's an estimate. So my person who's feels like she's missing $20,000, it's an estimate of um what the lender gave because he didn't get the payoff yet because the attorney doesn't have the payoff yet. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But again, it's probably still very, very close, the estimate, but it's not exact. So the settlement statement is exact numbers that you sign at closing. The lender and the attorney work together to write it up.
And it's so black and white. There's
Mhm.
no way
There's no
that
way someone
can and if it's a misunderstanding, you're in front of everyone
to
right
explain
there
it.
to explain it. So,
Right. Well, most lenders don't go to closing, but ours does. Yeah, he still goes to closing. I want you guys to tune in. Next week, we'll be educating you again on something real estate and in motherhood.
right, we don't know what yet, but we're glad to be back.
No baby inside of me. I mean, I do have a baby, but he's
I
not
was about to
inside
say,
of me.
wait, what? Yeah,
Pregnancy.
2, technically.
2
2
under 2.
under 2.
Oh, I want to start a blog 2 under 2 plus a teen. Isn't that great?
That is.
Ooh, I need to do it. But again, like us,
Please like, subscribe,
share,
listen to our podcast. If you
learn
have
from us,
questions,
and
if
comment so we can converse.
I can't, you know what? We're going to do, because we've gotten comments and feedback now that we put out a few podcasts that we can respond to some actually on air. Maybe we'll do that next.
Oh yeah, like some of our comments and questions. That'd be cool.
Yeah. All right. I'm Carolyn Mosley.
And I am Deandra Pruitt.
And we are Real Estate and Motherhood.